Happy Friday to you. Welcome to the Jim of All Trades channel. I'm glad you're here. My name's Jim, and I'm an Elliott Wave trader, and here to discuss Bitcoin and Litecoin with you today. We had an awesome morning this morning, and I hope you were able to get in on that move. If not, don't worry and don't FOMO. That's so important. Market psychology is so critically important, and we're going to be talking about that in a future video. But today we want to talk about a chart pattern called diagonal. I want to show you what that means and what that looks like and why I think Bitcoin's heading down from where it is. We're going to have a correction. And then secondly, we want to talk about some complex corrections and how to trade a triangle. You will not want to miss how to trade a triangle. If you know the information I'm going to share with you, you would have been able to nail this trade in Litecoin in particular. So stick around for all of that information, and let's get to it. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to explain how to spend your money. I'm sharing how I spend my money, and I'm just teaching you how I think about charts. So be careful with your money. It is a risky market. All right. With that being said, let's get into BTC. What we're seeing here is my overall count is let me just throw it on here for you. It's a 1, 2, okay, this whole thing is 3 right there, 4 and 5. Now I don't know where 4 is going to come down to. I still think it's going to be correcting down in this area to some degree. It may stop here at the 4,800 mark and continue on. It may come down a little lower. We're not sure. We'll have to watch and see what price does, and make some guesses as the chart is formed, as this correction is made. But it's going to take quite a while to make this correction, so don't get in a hurry and don't get frustrated. Now, that being said, they may dump it. Sometimes we have this flash dumps like this really quick. The correction happens immediately, so we want to be careful for those things. So I don't want to say definitively that it'll take a while. It should take a while if it happens like everything else is. Now I want you to notice this chart pattern here. You'll see this channel here. This is what we call a diagonal. A diagonal is when you have a pattern where the wave 2 overlaps the wave 4. So basically, you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That's called an expanding diagonal. We can show you on I looked up an article on it just if you wanted to take a peek. Here's a picture of another place in the market where there's a diagonal. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little different than Bitcoins, but you can kind of get the idea. So I think what we have going on is Bitcoin's got a diagonal here. This is finished. This was probably the finished 3 wave. Came down for 4, very small 4, and then we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finish out. In previous videos, I don't know if you remember, I said, hey, we got a real potential here to go up to the 58 to 57, $5,800 mark. I said, and I put this line up here, around the 57, $5,800 mark. And the reason I said that is because this looked like a 1 wave followed by a 2 and then a 3, and I was like, well, where's the 4 and 5? And so because I couldn't see the 5, I was just like, wow, what's going on here? So this is where it came. It was a diagonal, which is a kind of a complex wave, and it's hard to tell until it's being made. And so there it is. Now we could have something like this going on as well. This sometimes it's just really hard to tell where the wave divisions are. This is very 5 wave-ish here, and this could be a 1, 2. So this could be the top of 3 still. Very small 4. We got a 1, 2, and we're making our 3. That's a possibility as well, although I think unlikely. We really need a pretty decent correction. Looking at this, looking at the RSI, you can really see the divergence here. Though our price kind of came up and this is the 6-hour chart. Our price kind of came up and crack the RSI line. It could wipe out the divergence or minimize it a little bit, but we do have divergence. It would seem that we need a correction here pretty soon. Now the other option here, remember, this could be a big ABC, and we're coming down for 5 waves, so that's a bear scenario as well, so we want to be mindful of that. The second thing we want to talk about Well, actually, let me just say we're gonna have to just watch price. There is a chance that we have another push up here with Bitcoin, though. If you notice, you'll see something here. We hit our trend line. You see this trend line that I drew here. Notice it converged. That trend line converged here right with the 5,800 mark right in there. Which if we take, you'll hear me talk about structure. And I need to do a whole video on structure, and I'll talk about it in Litecoin when we get over there. But you see this bottom peak here. We came up and just tagged that, and then stopped. So you'll notice that structure plays an important part in the market. And so trend lines do help, but they're not everything, but they certainly do help us. Okay, so that's what Bitcoin's looking like. Our targets here, we got a downside target here, still looking at the $4,800 range. Now that this wave is complete, I would say our first target is going to be somewhere around $4,800. Um, the if we go up, we should not. If we go up from here for whatever reason, we should not push any higher without correction, any higher than about $6,200. Even the $6,400, I just cannot see us going higher than that. I don't see it now, but I don't see everything, and I'm not a genie. So be prepared for an upside target. But remember, do not FOMO. This is not the time to be buying if you don't have a position in Bitcoin right now. This is not the time. You wait for a substantial correction. It will correct. There will be a substantial correction coming. Wait for that correction. Do not jump in now. It's just a bad, unless you're day trading and you can identify the smaller moves and you can trade those. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. I want to move to the second topic here and talk about complex corrections. And we're going to go over to Litecoin and check that out for a minute. You'll notice that in my call for Litecoin, um, I was expecting an ABC, and that's a simple correction, and it would make sense here because we really didn't have much of a two wave here. We had a very small two wave, and so I was really expecting really something a little bit more zigzagish, and I guess I got market blinded, and I was kicking myself after I finished yesterday's videos, thinking, oh man, there's a potential triangle here. I should have talked about a triangle scenario as well. But that's exactly what played out. So this ABC ended up just turning out to be a triangle, which is also a correction. It's a form of complex corrections. Complex corrections are designed to gather orders for shorts and longs, as well as to confuse traders. And it's also a consolidation period of price until there's a big move. And so whenever you have a complex correction, you generally can expect a large move coming out of it, to the down or upside. Now you'll notice this triangle. The third topic we're going to talk about is trading triangles. Once you notice and see the triangle actually being formed, I'm going to go to the 30-minute chart or even the 15-minute chart. I want to show you something, guys, because this is powerful. If you would have known this, you would have nailed this trade today. Once you understand that there is a triangle being formed, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this chart and I'm going to replay it a little bit. We're going to come back here to where we couldn't see anything. Okay, so let me just move this right here. We would have drawn our trend line if we drew the trend line like something like this, and said, hey, we got a potential triangle here, and it looks like there's a triangle being formed, and certainly there is. We would have, I was kind of blind to it, I guess, or just not focusing in. I get market blinded sometimes, and that happens. We've got to grow as traders and learn from mistakes. I didn't see it really till last night, and I couldn't really make a video about it. So anyway, we've got this. It could have come down here, and then back up. We would have expected a breakout right there, and then a retest, and then going up. Now, what happened as we play it, price came down. Um, it's coming down. It's kind of going up there. It took a dive right there. And it's like, oh, that was a false breakout to the bottom side. But what that actually did was that shifted that shifted the trend line to here, which that's what that breakout did, because once that came back into The way you trade a triangle is like this. Once it breaks to a particular side, once it comes back and retests that line and bounces off of it, that's your entry point. What this did is it broke out and then came back into the triangle. When that happens, what you're going to do is when price comes back into the triangle and then bounced off that bottom line. See that bounce off there, right there? So that's your fake breakout right there. When this came, it bounced off. This actually would have been an entry point right there. That would have been an entry for a short trade. Now, and I would have taken it if I short, but I don't short. So anyway, that would have been a decent short trade there. If you wanted to take that, and you would have what would have happened though, because it was a fake breakout, is that price came back up, crossed. Let me get this out of the way. Come on, price. So as this is being created, I would have probably moved my line there. Okay. Uh, or we can keep it there. You can just see price came back. I would extend this line here. Okay. Again, we're trying to pretend like we don't know what's going to happen, right? So this fake breakout happened. It came back, retest, and gave you an entry potentially, but then it kept on back into the triangle and it broke out to the other side. So what you're now waiting for, since there was a fake breakout to the downside and then it came back up, you're waiting for a retest, and this is how you trade a triangle. You wait for the retest of that triangle, and once it retests, you go long. If it's going up, so we would expect price to come down here and then shoot off like that, and that's how a lot of triangles happen. It'll break out, and so let's play it and see what happened. Let's see, here's price is moving, it's going up, you're getting scared. Price is going up, oh no, oh no, price is moving, oh we're losing up, look at that. Okay. What happened? It came back and retested. All right. On that retest right there, let me draw this line extended. Okay. On this retest of that line, there's your entry point. It didn't bounce off it perfectly, but it sure came down. This would have been the entry point for a long, and you would have nailed the trade. As soon as I saw, I tell you, I was watching this, and I didn't trade that because I hesitated, and you can't hesitate on this trade. This basically shot up right here on this candle. This would have been the entry point. I probably would have gotten in right about there, and then price just took off on us. So that was beautiful. Anyway, that's how you trade a triangle. You wait for the breakout. You wait for the breakout, and once it retests that, you shoot up. So that's how you trade triangles. I hope that's helpful to you. Now, what's Litecoin doing? Let me just close this replay down. Yes, close it down. Okay, there we go. Here's our chart. So what's Litecoin doing? Well, Litecoin is now correcting. It is currently correcting. Let me go to the. I'm going to take this down to the 1 minute chart because I want to show you something here, or 2 minute here. That'll be fine. And so what we have going on here is might even need to see it. You need to see it in the 1 minute chart. I took a trade this morning in this Litecoin, expecting a bounce, one more bounce higher. A couple of reasons for it, but basically I entered the trade right here. The reason I entered that trade was we had 5 waves right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was followed by 3 waves. Okay. It was followed by a 3-wave. When I put the fibs on it, it came down to the 1276 and it tagged it. My fibs aren't drawn perfectly, but there you go. It tagged the 1276. Let me see if I can get them drawn well. There it is. It bounced off of it, and so I entered right here at $78. And price came back down and then retested, and then it kind of went up. But this is what we call a complex correction. This is a simple correction where you just have a simple ABC. A complex correction is when you have a larger correction over time, where you have A, B, C, and then it's followed by another wave, and then it's followed by another. So this is more of a complex correction. I'm not sure if we're going to continue going down or not, and so I'm still in my trade. I haven't stopped it out yet. My criteria for stopping this trade out is as soon as we break that low right there. Let me draw it a little bit better. I'll stop that trade. So if we break that low, or if I think we're heading that way, then I will stop this trade out. We're getting close to it. I'm actually watching price as we make this video. So that's a strong possibility. I'm just going to cut this trade because it could be a low probability trade. This little down move was designed to shake traders out if they were in, if it goes up. So if it goes up from here, this down move was designed to shake traders out. You see how it bounced right off of that bottom line there. It didn't quite break it, and it did a little bit of a rebound. So traders are expecting a rebound there. All right, well, we're going to have to watch price and see what it does, but according to my wave count, I expect that there might be one last push to the upside towards the $81 mark. That's a potential. We're going to be watching that, and then we're going to see what price does today, and then we'll make a video tomorrow and just kind of watch price and see if we can figure out what Bitcoin and Litecoin want to do. But here's what you know. Here's what you need to know. If you're not in a trade, you don't need to really get into a trade. Any trade at this point is very, very risky. Not a good time to be entering the market at all. On at this point, wait for a pullback and then a bounce. And so, just trying to clear the chart a little bit. I guess I wanted to talk about one more thing, and that's the triangle is part of a wave 4. This is a clear wave 4. We've got a 1, 2, 3. This is a 4 and a 5. You'll notice if I just pulled up an article for you. I just wanted to show you an article. It says a triangle may extend by having. No, I'm sorry. One thing to remember about horizontal triangles is that they always appear in the position prior to the final move of the pattern. Okay, so that means it's going to appear in wave 4, or it'll be in a wave B in a zigzag. So it appears right before the final move. So we go back to our chart, and we've got this triangle. So this is the final move. Now, whether it's played out or not, we're not sure. We expect 5 waves. Expect this to be 5 waves. And so that's why I went ahead and took that trade, because I was expecting a quicker move to the upside, but it hasn't happened. It still could happen. But basically, my count looks something like this. On this breakout, we've got 1, 2. This was 3. I'm expecting 4, and then 5. So that's what I'm looking for. It's going to be just a scalp trade for about $3, $4, something like that. I put my fibs on it like so, to see where price is coming to. And let's see, that 3-wave finished at the 2618. Let's go to the extension now of the 4-wave. Expect the 4-wave to come down here. The 618 is a good landing point. A lot of times for the 5th wave, and so that's the price target I'm looking at on the upside. If we go up at about $82.69 in that ballpark, and then we're going to head down. I'm expecting a correction of some sort. That's what I'm expecting. Price can't go up forever. We need to see pullback, and then price can go up. So whether it's going to be big or small, I'm not sure. I got to get a handle on this wave count. But until then, we're not FOMOing, and we're not worried. We're waiting for price to start correcting, and then we'll be able to see with more clarity. This is what we do as traders. All right, guys. I hope this helps you. Just think about trading a little bit. I know this is a little bit more complex material, but I guess what I want to do is help develop you as traders. We always have to be learning. We have to watch the market, watch what it does, and learn its tricks so that we can be ready to trade. All right, you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will see you tomorrow or for another video. Have a great one.